Let's take another poke around, shall we? I think I'm missing a stuff and an evidence. Whatever. Oh, fuck. Oh, kid, you smell something burning? No idea what you're talking about! Anyway, let's wrap this up. A herring and a... Oh, a red herring. A herring and a thoroughly used knife. Suspicious, no? Or so I thought, but in actuality, the truth was even stranger than I could have guessed. Consider the herring. A common baitfish, yes, but also an international culinary staple. Yet that alone was not enough for me to narrow the scope of what was afoot in here. And for that, I needed to look at the utensils at hand. Excuse me. I found no evidence of any intent to cook this herring, and no pertinent kitchen implements save for this knife. How could one serve herring raw, and with only a knife? It was then that I recalled something one of the weebs from the school anime club had told me. In Japan, raw fish is known as sashimi, and nishin, that is, herring served with roe, is a particular delicacy. Suddenly, it was all clear to me. Alexander V. Badman, you've been conducting your business in the shadows long enough. It's time your deeds were finally revealed. Yes, it's time that the world knows that you are, in fact, an aspiring sushi chef. I'm doing what now? In hindsight, it makes perfect sense. After so many years struggling as a low-level criminal, you wanted to make a clean break from your sordid past. You wanted to make a living through honest work, a fresh start, and what could be fresher than raw fish? Yet you knew that your underworld associates would frown on your Epicurean explorations, so you hid yourself away in this abandoned mansion to train. The blood on the knife is none other than your own, spilled by mistake during a particularly intense prep session. This was no crime at all, this was passion! Okay, yes, sure, that's exactly what's going on here. You know, this is some pretty inspiring stuff. I think you could make a documentary out of this. That's great, kid. Now, please untie me. Of course, who am I to stand between a man and his dream? It's gonna be a minute, though. I tied these knots hecka tight, and my hands are super slimy from carrying that herring around. You do realize you have a knife, right? Yeah, but I don't want to turn you into sashimi by mistake. Alright, that's fair enough. It probably tastes terrible anyway. Wow, 8 out of 16, a raw deal. Oh man. Puns. No idea what you're talking about. Anyway, let's wrap this up. Knife and the snail. A strange collection of evidence, isn't it? A note shrouded in secrecy. A knife steeped in blood. A mansion lost to ruin. Not sure I'd call a 1v1v a mansion, but this evidence is all I need to crack this case wide open. Yes, this case of violence, passion, romance. The confounding case of the clowns and the craniums. The what nows? Spare me the feigned ignorance, bad man. We both know you're not as completely dim-witted as you look. Thanks? Wait, or was that an insult? But you are a bonehead. Or should I say, a skull from the Cranium Gang! I knew what was up as soon as I saw the paintings in the parlor and the bedroom. This mansion may look totally trashed and unwanted, but it's actually the staging grounds for a bitter, blood-soaked turf war between the rival gangs, the clowns, and the craniums. The skull and clown paintings are the gang's way of marking their territory, like graffiti, but infinitely less practical. The second floor is clown turf, while the craniums rule the ground floor. From the fact that I found you in the living room, it was simple to deduce that your loyalty lies with the craniums. Am I wrong? I mean, yes. Even if I do hate clowns. Aha! So the truth comes out. And with that, everything else falls tidily into place. Tell me, bad man, in the tussle, what's a gangster's second most deadly weapon? I guess a gun would be number one, so, a knife? Precisely. And what a coincidence that I found just such a weapon locked away, that I should find just such a weapon locked away within deep... Fuck.
Mission failed. We'll get him next time.
Precisely. And what a coincidence that I should find just such a weapon locked away deep within clown territory. One might assume that you had hidden armaments there to later access when the cranium stormed the second floor, but I don't think it's that simple. The knife was bloody when I found it. In other words, this was an implement of not future violence, but past violence. Violence past, whatever. A memento mori. A memento of a fallen comrade, or perhaps even a lover. You know I'm already married, right? But your lover couldn't have been a fellow cranium. If that had been the case, then why would the knife be on the second floor? No, bad man. You fell in love with a clown, didn't you? Forbidden love. Star-crossed, even. Like Tony and Maria from Shakespeare's timeless masterpiece, A Midsummer Night's Dream. And when your lover, like Tony, perished in a brutal knife fight in this very house, you swore revenge. A revenge no less than the total annihilation of all the remaining clown gang. This note, Iron Snail authorization. Here's another question, bad man. What is a snail? A mollusk? Okay, yes, but I was kinda hoping you'd give a less accurate answer. A slug in a shell. Exactly! And so we come to the truth of the Iron Snail. A slug in a metal shell! Wait, you don't mean... Indeed. This note from the Big Skull boss was to give you permission to use the gangster's deadliest weapon in its most lethal form. When a gangster comes sauntering down the street at you and slowly lifts their arm, what should you fear most? A gun? Nah, I'm talking about rhythmic hand percussion. What? I know you're an uncultured ruffian, but have you ever seen A Midsummer Night's Dream? Gangsters are at their most dangerous when they're slowly advancing toward you while snapping, clapping, and performing Broadway choreography. But even more dangerous than such a bare-handed percussion is the use of castanets, traditionally a pair of shells bound with a string. The slug is the string, its iron shell. The metal discs used in craquebs, that is, the Moroccan castanets. I shudder to even imagine the carnage if you got your hands on such a weapon. Kid, you whipped out an actual revolver like 10 seconds ago. At any rate, your revenge plan ends here, bad man. I know the pain you must bear I know the pain you bear must be heavy, and it's all too easy to let that pain harden into hate. But that's not what your lover would have wanted, is it? You can't heal until you learn how to forgive. And when the rest of your gang gets here and you tell them that. It's up to you to end this cycle of violence. Take care, bad man. My work here is done. Kid, you realize there's no actual cranium gang coming in and sign me, right? Kid, come back here! At least leave me the revolver! West Side of Lynn County Story. West Side Story! Yeah, I drink out of a gallon jug of water. I'm a douche. So let's do this and that. They seem so inconspicuous at first, don't they? A fish and some cash. You might even be tempted to dismiss them as irrelevant to the case at hand. But you'd be wrong. Wrong! These seemingly random items are actually the crux of an international criminal conspiracy, and you, Alexander V. Badman, are the ringleader. Kid, I've never even left the West Coast! Kinda sucks that I gave him a New York accent then, doesn't it? Well, and why would you need to, when you have peons scattered across the globe doing your nefarious bidding? This quaint life you lead in Lynn County as a total unsuccessful failure of a cat burglar, wasting away your fading youth, quarreling with a school kid. It's all just an ingenious disguise to throw the feds off your trail, but I'd expect no less from a peerless villain such as yourself. Wow, even when you're complimenting me, you still manage to make me feel like shit. And more importantly, you haven't even told me what I'm allegedly doing with this global crime syndicate. Oh, but isn't it obvious? The fish alone tells you everything you need to know. At first, I thought perhaps it was a member of the genus Clupia, some kind of herring or whatever. But only an amateur jumps to conclusions. After countless painstaking hours of thorough research and analysis, I've come to a very different answer. We've been in this house for like 45 minutes tops. Okay, fine, maybe it was more like 3 minutes on Wikipedia, but that's besides the point. This is no common herring, but a critically endangered red handfish. Don't handfish have, you know, hand-looking fins? The fins on this one look pretty normal to me. I'm sure it would have had hand fins if you hadn't harvested them to sell them on the black market as a delicacy. For decades now, you've been poaching endangered aquatic wildlife all across the globe to fill the bellies of the corrupt oligarchs. Handfish fins, turtle fins, shark fins. One fish, two fish, fuck you. How many have died by your hands? How many innocent animals have you drowned in your sanguineous soup of sin? But I say no more! Your trail of blood ends here, bad man. For your diabolical poaching ring, I'm afraid this is
Ladies and gentlemen,
a fin.
we got him.
Wow, look at James Bond over here, dropping one-liners like first period electives. How many times do I have to tell you? I didn't do jack, and every minute you waste on this farce is another minute closer to us getting murdered by the monster upstairs. What, the thing with all the eyes? I'm pretty sure that's just a taxidermied model. Another now extinct species cut down by your gang of poachers, no doubt. Does that thing look like an endangered species to you? Are horses endangered? I don't really remember. Wait, what? Horses? Anyway, that's pretty much that. I brought out the evidence, dropped the accusation, had a couple of dramatic twists, even made a plot-relevant pun, so that covers all my usual bases. See you next week. Maybe next time you'll come up with a better crime. Wait, you can't leave yet? You still have to untie me. You never even told me what you meant about the horses. Oh, whatever. Guess I'll have to get at it myself. A loyal army of criminal fishmongers sure would come in handy right about now. Not like that's gonna happen anytime soon. Oh, I don't even like fish.